Yes, this is day three of our common sense journey. And today I'll be focusing on why I invented common sense. This has been a very important question that most people ask. And this is how I will explain it. My journey into common sense first started some time back, say like 7, 8 years back. And that was when I began the journey of developing the human asset building skills. In the process, already had an opportunity to be groomed in the theater world, and from there to television and then to film. And then from film, I had the privilege to transit into creativity and innovation. From there into entrepreneurship, and then into what you call the corporate world. And so, because I had that opportunity to go through this spectrum, to go through this process, I had the opportunity to engage with people from different perspectives, from their thoughts, their values, their belief system, their identity, their vision, and their goals, leadership, politics, money, relationship, marriage, however you go about it. But the opportunity I had was that I went through the entire spectrum of interactions. And that was where I learned what has become my most important focus in life: the power of culture. You see, there is nothing as forceful and as powerful as culture. Culture actually is the superstructure of what makes up a society and a community. It consists of both the material and the non material. It is the sum of vision, identity, language, values, principles, ethics, education, religion, relationship, and conviction. The truth of the matter is, culture is the destiny of a person or a people. And that is what makes culture very powerful. You cannot change anybody, you cannot change a system, you cannot build a country except you have access into their cultural, norms and vault. And the reason is quite simple. Culture, most times, we focus on building culture from only the horizontal perspective. So we look at the scope, we look at what we call the social milieu, the entire process of building that cultural values, the meanings, and the definitions and the process of history, anthropology, all of them across board. But what we fail to do is to look at culture from a vertical perspective, to look at culture in terms of depth, to look at culture from an unconscious level, at a subconscious level, and at a conscious level. Because entirely this is what qualifies thoughts and thinking. Thought and thinking is what qualifies relationship. What qualifies and trigger relationships is actually culture. And therefore, to be able to engage culture, you need to be able to develop a kind of skill, a kind of competence that is holistic in nature that will help you engage the process of culture, seeing that it is identity, seeing that it is a belief system, seeing that it is everything we are. And in my journey, classes and development in problem solving, there is complex problem and then there's also the wicked problem. One of the key things we learned in the process is that you cannot solve personally a problem that has been developed by a community. Therefore, a personality cannot solve a communal problem. For you to solve a communal problem, then you also have a community. Therefore, to be able to interact with culture, extensively, you must also develop another kind of culture to be able to engage culture. And that was where I got to. And then I started deciding what is the best medium that I need to be able to qualify and engage culture. I realized that writing, I'm going to write on strictly one subject matter. I won't be able to cover politics. I won't be able to cover principles in depth wise here. I won't be able to cover relationship, marriage. I won't be able to cover ethics. I won't be able to cover all those existential questions that need to be asked in the process of building and developing a culture. And that is one challenge I know I couldn't do. And therefore, I had to recourse to a process that will help me simulate, develop culture in such a way that will be able to develop an existing culture that can challenge a historical culture. That is what gave birth to common sense. And it is in that process that I was able to key into even what Peter Drucker would say, that culture will eat strategy for breakfast. You wonder why the best of strategy most times don't give results? It is because of culture. And to be able to deal with culture, you must be able to create another community, what you call a critical mass, a communal ground that will be able to interrogate the entire process that has to do with what exists. This is what gave birth to common sense. I needed to create a tool that can bring politics, bring religion, bring principles, values, and ethics to the center table. A principle and a kind of force that can help you engage the meanings of words, the meanings of ideas, to qualify and re-qualify vision. This was a tough call. And one of the things I latched on was, in the process of my research and study, I got to realize that one of the most powerful tool and channel in the world for which you can use to engage anything in the world has always been through the process of playing. And by playing, all guards are let down. By discussing, you create a community. By interrogating collectively, you are able to bring a communal sight and skill to a problem. That way, it's easy for you to engage it. That is why I invented common sense. And that is why common sense today has become one of the most strongest cultural shaping tool in the world. I will discuss more further about common sense to unveil to you to why common sense is known as the seventh sense. Just follow with the common sense journey.